Hey everyone, I'm Melanie from Streamlined Legal, where we help law firms get the most out of their practice management software. Thanks for joining me again tonight. We are talking still about predicting your income. And specifically tonight, we're talking about setting your fees, or rather your case values, we'll call them. Last night, we talked about using your intake software to actually enter the value of your cases as early as possible so that we can start predicting those fees. And for those of you that use flat fees, I hope this is easy because it can be very easy, right? If you're able to stop making up the flat fees that you're charging just based on, a gut feeling at your consultation, and instead, if you can make a menu of fees based on practice area specific criteria, like how many pieces of property the person has or how many derivative applications you're going to have to file, then you can eliminate a lot of decision-making fatigue and get your retainers out faster, right? And for today's conversation, you can have a menu of prices that your team can then enter for, with just a few pieces of information, they can then enter the value of the case. Now, you may not know the value of the case until after the consult, or there may be a few key questions that you can ask in order to find it out sooner, right? So, how many pieces of real estate do you own? Or maybe you ask really early, how many family members do you have? Then you can train someone to use that menu to enter the case value as early as possible, right? Now, if you're charging hourly fees, this can be a little bit harder, but it's not at all impossible. The truth is, most of you guys listening have been doing this for a year or more, let's say, right? That means that you have at least a year's worth of data, right? A year's worth of cases to go back and look at and determine how many hours did this take, right? So I can go back and see how many hours did the last LLC formation take, right? How many hours did this last TRO require? And yes, they're all going to be different and it's not going to give you a perfect number, but it's going to be, the more cases that you have, the closer you're going to be able to get to a really accurate, a really accurate average, right? And so I want to make sure that we're using those averages, right? Once you can figure that out, based on the averages that you figure out, now come up with a value, say, hey, this is our new value now. The average case, we collected $10,000 in fees on average. Use that as your case value, right? Go ahead and put that on a new menu now for your intake people to reference. And now you can give them a case value menu that they can use to start estimating these things and put it into the software as soon as possible, right? The point is that we need to stop waiting for the perfect or actual number and start working with the best numbers that you can come up with. Because guess what? It's better than the no numbers that you have now, right? And it's only going to get better the more cases you do and the more data you analyze. So again, it's just an estimate. And once a quarter or once a year, we can go and evaluate all the newer cases that we've done and adjust it as we need to, right? And that's what will help you predict your income. When you actually go back and look at the data, by the way, have a team member do this. This does not have to be you personally. But once you can compile that data and use those averages, now you're going to start on your way to being able to predict that income. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and catch us again tomorrow night where we'll talk about more Lawmatics, Clio, practice management subjects. Thanks, guys. Bye.